In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how layer masks can be used in a photo edit to make part of the picture be edited and part of it not be edited. So this is really your first look into layer masks, and layer masks can be used in many different ways. This is just one method of using them. So first off, I'm going to make an edit to this picture. I'm going to make this one black and white. Okay. Now with the edit made, you'll notice that there's a white rectangle on the layer with the adjustment. So with this, the white means that that edit is happening in that part of the picture. So what you can really do is just imagine that this white box is the entire photo. So with white in that box, that means that the edit is happening. If I change it so that that white is black within the layer mask, it's going to make that edit disappear in a certain part of the picture. So the next thing I'll do is switch to my paintbrush tool, which is over here in the tools section of Photoshop. And then I need to make sure that I've got black and white selected for my two colors, so the foreground color and the background color. A fast way to make that happen is to click on this box right here. So I've set the default foreground and background color. And then if I want to toggle back and forth between black and white, I can just use this arrow here to make that happen, which you may end up doing quite a bit with layer masks. Okay, so I've got my paintbrush selected, and I've got the layer mask selected, not the picture. Now I can adjust the size of my brush by using the bracket keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to make this a little bit larger. And then I'm going to be painting with black in this area of the photo to make it so that black and white, the edit that I chose to do, is not happening. So I'm adjusting the size of the brush to get a little more detailed. Okay, so now, if we look at the small box here, part of it is black, and that's showing us that the edit is not going to happen in that part of the picture. Now you can always switch back to having white as your paint that you're using. While still having the layer mask selected, you can paint back that edit in parts of the picture that you might have made a mistake in. It definitely helps to zoom in, so doing Control plus to zoom in, Control minus to zoom out, so that you can then get even more detailed with your edit. So I'm going to be adjusting to have an even smaller brush, so I can get rid of all the color in the sky. Another thing that can help is changing the hardness of the brush. So selecting up on the top bar here after the brush tool is selected, changing the hardness will affect how sharp the edge is of the paintbrush that I'm using. So if I have a really sharp edge, you're going to notice lines basically of the brush where I was painting, and that tends to not be as nice of a look because you want to disguise the brush as you're using it. So I tend to use a hardness that's a little bit lower, all the way at 0% allows the brush to be really soft on the edge. Sometimes you might go 50%, which still disguises the brush a little bit, but it ends up not being as prominent. So that's a real fast way to make an edit happen only in a certain part of the picture. You can do this with any of the adjustment layers that you make, just to have the edit only happen in one part of the picture.